Alright, hey guys, so I'm back doing another review. Not really a review, just a product introduction. For any techs that are watching this, I already know that it's not how you do it. That's fine. I don't really know what I'm doing anyways. I'm just trying stuff out in here, still trying to see what I like. Alright, but so this is the ANA Tactical EOD tool insert for the Spiritus System micro rig. This is what it's going to look like when it's all installed. I did pay for these, both of these. I bought one in multicam, and then due to some confusion, the original one that I bought was multicam black, but I told the guys over there I'd go ahead and buy it since I didn't want them to make something for me and then not pay for it. And it works pretty well for this because it'll contrast well with the actual Spiritus System pouch. So what you're going to get are two pieces. You're going to get the actual insert here, which is a HPD reinforced panel. It's pretty stiff. It's got a little thickness to it, and with some elastic sleeves on it. Right off the bat, I don't know what exactly these were designed to hold, or if they were just some random sizes. Either way, it works pretty well. And then you'll get to this removable lid here. So the idea behind the removable lid is that you can adjust the ride height on this thing for when it's in the pouch. So if you're trying to stick your crimpers in there or something, if you're running some old school crimpers, you can make it ride as high as you can, and then use just the top lip of the Spiritus System pouch, and hopefully you got enough room for those. Some of those longer laser pointers, the really thin ones, those might fit in here. And or if you're running nothing but short stuff, you can drop it down so that you don't have a giant flap getting in the way of your magazines. In the one that I've got it installed in here, I'm using the Spiritus System elastic insert for 7.62 PMags. And my multicam micro rig here, I've got a Kydex insert for 5.56 mags. I don't know if I would recommend the Kydex with this setup, being that it's a relatively thick item. I think you're going to lose a lot of capacity in the front here, but we're going to find that out shortly. So my idea here is I was using a ATS clap with various tools in here. You can see I've got it pretty full. I had this on the chest area of my vest. It was getting in the way of drawing my mags quickly. I switched to 40 round PMags. Those stick up high enough to clear the bottom of the pouch, so it wasn't really an issue anymore. But ideally I'd like to have my chest area open on my plate carrier. So we'll see if we can fit all of this into the unit, or if not, how much we can fit. Alright, so just so we know what kind of gamble we're working with here, this is everything that I had in that ATS pouch. It became a repository for everything that I ever thought I might need on a call that I didn't know where to stick. So some of the items that I had in here were a demo card reference, map protractor, a pair of wire strippers, laser pointer, folding utility knife or box cutter, ceramic fixed blade, a flathead and cross tip screwdriver, a pair of dikes, a small flashlight, a steel ruler, a sweet Skillcraft pen. They make the best click pens on the planet. A dual tip Sharpie. I will buy these in any color they come in and carry them in every uniform I wear. A signal mirror with a compass on the other end of the lanyard. Cigarette lighter. A flexible sewing ruler. Collapsible grappling hook. And the greatest tool ever invented, the deuce placement card. So I'm going to take a minute here and see what I can fit in the rig with mags behind it, and then I'll try it on the Kydex version to see if it still fits. Alright, we're back. So I got everything to fit. It is not ideal to say the least. So we've got the pen, the Sharpie, the laser pointer, the flashlight, the wire strippers, the machinist ruler with the both screwdrivers, and the shears. Those all fit in the included elastic sleeves. They sit surprisingly high though. So if I had to make one recommendation right off the bat is give us more lid to work with. I backed this thing out about as far as I could where I thought it would still have any grip at all on the Velcro. And when I throw it over, it barely catches. Now that's not awful. Even an extra ½ inch would help. I would probably say go ahead and add an extra inch to the lid, if not 2, because you can always push it further down in the back if you've got too much lid. All right. What I couldn't fit or didn't want to try to fit in the elastic is stored right in front of it, which works out just fine. So we got the utility knife back in there, the protractor, the demo card, and then just kind of resting in the pocket here is the cigarette lighter, the grappling hook, signal mirror and compass, the dikes, the sewing tape, and the ceramic knife. The ceramic knife would have fit really well in one of the sleeves in the back, but it was just too long. It lays down fine. It had to lay down in the ATS rig, so I can't really complain about that too much. The shears I could probably just stitch all together. That would give me a little bit height. That's the tallest thing in there right now. Same thing with the wire strippers. I could lay those down if I was really concerned about it and wanted to make this work as is. The only thing that I haven't done yet is throw the mags back in here. I took them out to make this a little easier to pack. Granted, we're kind of going worst case with these mags using the 7.62 mags. Everything fits. It's not an insanely bulky item. I wouldn't want to go prone with it, but I also don't necessarily want to go prone on a stateside response anyways. So if I'm not running mags, because I'm not carrying a gun stateside, that does give me that entire back pocket to work with, which could alleviate some of the stress on the front. But really it's not that insane of a package as it is. The lid just needs to be a little bit longer. So I'm going to pause real quick. I'm going to try throwing the Kydex in here and we'll come right back. Alright, so I got my Kydex insert thrown in here. Got it loaded up with mags to really see how the fit on this thing works. You can see there's a little bit added bulk from the Kydex in there, but really everything still fits pretty alright. You know, the lid is still an issue. Can't fully see it, especially on the shear side, but it does fit. It does grab a little bit. I will say, playing around with this thing, if you get this lid fully seated on here, it's almost too much Velcro. So if just the bottom lip of this thing had Velcro, maybe even just an inch of it instead of an 1.5 inches, that might make it a little easier to open. Other thing you can do, which I did play around with a little bit, is using the half flap that you can get from Spiritus System. So just because you're using the A&A Tactical insert, you don't have to use their lid. You can throw these behind it, which give you a little bit more length. Not much more length, but a little bit, which might be all you need to work with. So that's an option, especially if you've got some taller tools on one side. You can cover up your shorter tools or your tools that are more prone to fall out with the half flap. So yeah, that is the A&A Tactical EOD insert. Overall, it's incredibly well made. Only complaints being that the lid might be a little bit too short, even backed all the way out. And then I think you lose a little bit of functionality due to how rigid this thing is. I would almost like them to just back it with some Cordura and then let the Velcro do the work. The plastic insert is a nice thought, but in a rig as small as this thing, I think it eats up a little bit of usable space, and it also makes it a little bit, it fights back on your tools a little bit. So using these slots, you can really feel the rigid back panel bite into the tool and make it a tighter fit than it seems like it should be. Great product all the way around. Made in America, obviously. Quality materials, quality stitching. I have no worries that this thing is going to come from together on me. Just those 2 minor tweaks that I think would make it a better product all the way around. The spacing on the elastic is plenty usable. Crimpers would fit in the center thing if you wanted to run full-size crimpers. I think most of us are running Gerber multi-tools anyways, so that's not really an issue. But all around, good idea, good execution, just a little bit more work needed. I just wanted to bring one more thing up here. I had a thought while I was cleaning everything up and putting everything away. So I've got one of these Spiritus System lunchbox pouches, which is a pretty banging pouch, no pun intended. And I wondered how the EOD insert would fit in there. So I don't know how well you'll be able to see it in there, but it does fit. The footprint is a little bit wider than the included Velcro in the lunchbox pouch, but the added benefit here is that the pouch is pretty deep. So all of the tools that are in here would be completely contained within the lunchbox pouch, and you wouldn't have any of those height issues with the lid. You could just forgo the lid altogether, zip everything up in this pouch, and all your tools would be right in there with whatever demo materials you needed to carry on you at the time. It would also give you a little bit more flexibility because you've got this front stretch pouch here for any kind of paperwork or the mat protractor. You could also rip this off of your vest pretty easy if you wanted to have a separate tool container that you didn't want necessarily tied to your armor. You could do the same thing with this. You can hit those 2 side release buckles and take it off your vest real easily if you want to work from a separate container with your tools. I will say, having tried this on the vest, this is leaps and bounds better to work out of than the ATS pouch. Everything fit in here fine and it wasn't overly tight, but with it being on the chest portion of the rig, once you get the flap open, you're kind of battling your own body to try to look in there and dig out the tool that you want. This thing drops it basically 6 inches lower on your body. Again, makes it difficult to go prone, but all your tools are right there and you can grab them real easily. Also, if you got to hop into the suit, you can unclip this thing and take it down range with you, and you don't have to worry about trying to unthread MOLLE or something or carry a separate tool container with you. You've got all your tools right there ready to go.